Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Traders Mind Chat show. Today, we are joined by my good friend, Jason Graystone. Welcome to the show, Jason. It's great to see you again.
It's good to see you, mate. Thanks for inviting me on. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a lot to talk about today. We were talking about a week ago, or maybe is it 2 weeks ago? I think it was 2 weeks ago because you went on this crazy trip that I saw some pics from Instagram on. I'd love to talk to you about that because I think that it ties into our topic for today with not only mindset but with physical fitness and how those two are linked. We're kind of cut from a similar cloth. I feel in that regard. So I'd love to dive into many of these topics with you relating to mindset, relating to physical fitness, relating to how big data can help us with all these things. I think that it's going to be super interesting to get into all of it. But for those of you out here that are joining live, thank you for being here. Jason, if you wouldn't mind giving the 15, 30-second elevator pitch of who you are and what you're about.
Yeah, so my name is Jason Graystone, obviously, and I'm an entrepreneur, an investor, and a trader. And I've been investing and trading for many, many years. Started my first business when I was 21, 22. And since then, just, been very, very focused on wealth building and money. Fascination with money, how to use it, how to make it grow. And I've, endured many different kind of wealth creation vehicles and investments and all that along the way. And it's been a great learning curve.
I think you're extraordinarily modest. You just had this huge event, huge 4-day event. Like I checked out the format of this, and it. Can you tell us a little bit about is it called the cyber trader?
The cyber trader, yeah. The reason behind the cyber trader is because we kind of, we didn't want to jump on the whole AI thing, but the idea behind it is that there's so much access to data and information and tools and software and really stuff that we just didn't have access to before, and with that comes a lot of opportunity. There's never been an opportunity as great as there is now to make money quickly or have access, to kind of level the playing field with the old institutions. Now you have the access to the data that they have and from your living room or your office, and that's incredible. But with that comes a lot of responsibility, because on the flip side, it's never been easier to lose your money, right? It's so easy to lose money now. Very, very easy to lose money. You couldn't lose money this easier before. So, although there's all this opportunity and great access to data and everyone's talking about AI and all that, it's very, very easy to go into, spiral downwards by losing your money and then chasing the losses, and you can get into some right horrible situations. So that was the kind of reasoning behind the name of the event, and that was what it was. It was to just go out, kind of refresh everyone on the underlying laws and principles of trading and the timeless approach to trading that just won't go away, and calming everyone down a little bit about because it's so, people spend 10 minutes on social media and they're like, they've got this FOMO. They feel like the world's going to end because they feel like they're not keeping up with everything. But just don't block all that out. It's there's a great world there when you just block all that stuff out.
Sure, and social media is geared to serve you the content that's going to
make you react,
emotion, cause engagement, and that's going to be the type of content that is typically inflammatory.
Of course. I don't know why people don't get this. I don't understand why people don't understand that. Like, it is, you are seeing things on social media that you have shown that you are a little bit triggered towards or scared of, or you've got a reaction to. They want to show you more of that. Because their goal is just to get more and more engagement. It's not to show you something that you agree with. Because if you agree with it, you're just not going to, oh yeah, okay, you'll just let it go. But if it's something that you hate or you're scared of and you're watching it for a long time, that's when they're going to show you more of that. And just because you're seeing more of that doesn't mean your neighbor's seeing the same thing. Or
Right,
five doors up the road might be seeing something completely different to you. And it can give you this false sense of oh, it's everywhere now. I'm seeing it everywhere. It's very popular now. It's happening more and more. It's not happening more and more. It's just you're seeing more of it.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't agree with that more. Like, especially with everything that's happening in the world right now too. I think that.
Yeah.
So I was talking to someone yesterday, and I think that part of the reason why that people in general might not understand it is because, well, from our perspective too, like we're neck deep in this all day, every day, and I don't know about you, but sometimes I catch myself in that reminding that not everybody is into social media and trading and all of this as much as we are. So there's still that earlier bit of the learning curve, but perhaps that's part of it. I make
Maybe.
effort to think about those things in trading, but about all the things like how people are using social media too. Most people are consumers.
Absolutely. And I think it makes people forget. It makes people want to move on to something before they've even mastered the first thing, or it makes people want to change their mind quicker than they should, without seeing the first thing into fruition. And I see that all the time. They give up quickly because they've been sold this idea or made to believe that there's some other better way, when in actual fact there isn't. It's just that you're seeing conflicting ideas based on topics that you've got interest in, and they're showing you everything now. So it can be really, really damaging. I don't spend a lot of time on social media at all. I'm not, if you check my my Twitter and all the rest of it, I just don't post a lot. I certainly don't spend any time in the comments or looking at what people say about my stuff. I just don't. That's not I just don't care. If I have something that I feel I want to say, I'll put it out there, and that's it. I don't spend my days worrying about everyone else's opinion. It just doesn't matter.
Really, that's interesting. Yeah, maybe we'll get into that a little bit later on. I want to touch on some of the topics that we had planned for today, and then we could circle back more too, because I think that I'd love to hear more about cyber trade, and I think that ties in great to when we get into the big data portion of this. Let's talk about physical fitness and how it impacts trading, mindset, and life. At the top, I mentioned this incredible trip that you went on. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I go on your Instagram and look, most of the time you're sharing content about trading or wealth building, and then all of a sudden I see this picture, and here's Jason standing at the top of the mountain, and it was really incredible to see.
Yeah, a lot of people actually messaged me to say that they were taken aback by that picture, and it was because it seemed out of sorts. It was like wasn't what they were expecting to see, because they normally see me in my office and all the rest of it. The truth is, we spend a lot. I live on an old farm, and we have lots of nature around us. Very green around here. We spend a lot of time going frequently to the local forest, and things like that. And we love nature. I've got deer in my garden and all the rest of it. We love it, right? But I don't share a lot of my life on social media. I share tips and tricks and things like that, but that's 5 minutes of my day. The rest of my days, I could do whatever we want. We go airsoft with the boys, or we go to a concert, or we go to the forest, or we go, I go away for the weekend with my wife, and that's what we did that weekend. We got a train up to the Lake District, and we spent 2 days or 3 days up there, and we spent 2 days climbing mountains and hiking through mountains, and it was just amazing. You know, it's really nice to get out and just go somewhere new, get out in nature, and get really humbled by nature. You know, one thing I always say about the mountains is they just don't care about you. It's a bit like the markets, right? The markets don't care about you at all, and the mountains don't care about you. Like, they don't care if your ankles are aching or you know, and they don't care about human race. You know, when we're gone, they're going to be here just fine. And they'll just be laying there doing what they do, flourishing, and there's something amazing about that. And it's always really, really inspiring to go and see that stuff and kind of tackle it a little bit. So yeah, and it is a mental test as well.
Yeah, the world keeps turning, and it reminds us how small we are.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, I'd love to see what the planet would look like without humans destroying parts of it, you know.
Interesting. So, well, with the physical fitness and tell us a little bit about how physical fitness has helped to improve your life in general, how it's helped to improve trading. And I'm also curious to hear too, has physical fitness always been a part of your life, or is this something that you've integrated later on at some point?
Yeah, my approach to physical fitness has always been just doing something I don't particularly want to do. So my physical fitness, I've been going to the gym since I was 18 years old, and I wouldn't say I've ever been someone who loves the gym. What I actually do it for is a necessity to be happy with my own standards. And I was a fat kid at school, and you know, being called fat and things like that kind of drives you into working on yourself. And I don't necessarily want to do that, because at heart, I am a fat kid. You know, I want to eat the rubbish food and stuff. So going to the gym and training and staying in shape has always been a very conscious effort and a challenge for me. But that has helped me, because I always like to do things that push me outside of my comfort zone, to test myself, to like my own competition. So even when we went up to the lakes, you know, we didn't have to go up to the lakes and walk up. We did 60,000 steps in 2 days. We climbed like, you know, something like 8,000 meters elevated gate. It was wow. Crazy, right? And we didn't have to do that. We could have just gone up there and sat in a hotel or, you know, in a bar or something, but we didn't. We did that. And the reason we did that is because we're both similar in that way. We're both competitive. We know that if we do it, our standards raise. You know, it's I think when you're physically fit and your body's in shape, and you can look in the mirror and go, I've earned this. You know, no one gave this to me. You can't actually get given a nice physique or health or fitness. You can't get given a good heart, you know. And when you can when you can look in the mirror and say, yeah, I'm happy with that, your standards are reflected else, you know, externally to everything else. It's like your relationship's better, your relationship with your kids is better, your relationship at work is better, your standards on your money is better, your business is better, everything. It just flows out. I think whatever your standards are on yourself reflect the standards you've got on everything.
I 100% agree. I had similar but different experience. I was the scrawny kid in school that would get picked on and beat up. So I became a fast runner at first, and then later on started to hit the gym regularly. Soon after my daughter was born, that threw life into a bit of a loop, and I didn't anticipate how much of a loop that would be. At one point, I was about 50 pounds heavier than I am now, and I was a marathon runner, and I got to a point where I couldn't run around the block, and I started to see my energy levels drop. And so that's how I started to be introduced to, wow, if I'm not taking care of myself, then there could just be a variety of problems. And all that happened within the span of maybe about 8 months. or so after
It's
gym was formed?
easy to do, right? I mean, I remember there's been times in my life where I've put on weight and gone up and ballooned up and all the rest of it. And usually when I look back at those times, what it is when I become a little bit complacent. And the first time that I ballooned up was around 2010, and that was just I had a lot of success in my mid-20s, and I was surrounded by people who thought I was. They would say, "Oh, you're so successful," all the rest of it, right? But I wasn't around the people that were further down the journey than me. So I kind of started to believe it, and I started to be a bit fat, right? In the illiteral sense, but I actually got fat because I kind of was just thought I was it. But you have to keep yourself in check. It's another reason to get around people that are going to push you a little bit and do things that aren't comfortable. If you're comfortable, things are probably not going too well, or things have kind of plateaued a little bit, and you need to watch your back, because if you're in business and you feel like, oh, everything's just fine now, someone's coming for you. Someone's coming for you.
Indeed. And you mentioned a couple of times now the sense of community and doing those kinds of things together. So are you going out and do you have workout partners or do classes or things like that? Well, what's your routine like?
Yeah, me and my wife train together quite a bit, and we go, we just did Tough Mudder together. We
That's great.
Yeah, we
I've
did
done a
that.
few of those.
Yeah, we're doing another one in April. And then we did the mountains, and we do HIIT classes and stuff like that together. But I've also got another training partner that I train with at the gym as well. So yeah, I do like to have people to train with. My wife's as competitive as me, if not more competitive. So she's she's a good one. And I think with training partners like that, it's like, even if you don't think that you need motivation, even if you are the most disciplined person in the world, there's always going to be a time where you can just go, oh, I might just do 2 sets instead of 3, or I won't do that exercise, I'll just go home now, or I don't feel like going today. But just by having someone else, you generally don't do that. You push harder. You do all of the sets, you show up. Even if both of you don't want to go to the gym that day, you both show up because you're both thinking, I've got to go because they go, right? So it does help. Well, it does for me anyway. Particularly, some people like to train on their own. I trained on my own for many, many years, and now I'm finding that I do actually like someone there to bounce off of a little bit, even if they're just even if I don't need them to push me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Well, when I started working with a personal trainer, I not only saw results improve rapidly, but the main reason why I started working with a trainer was to make sure that I was doing things with proper form. So don't
Yeah,
hold your wrist this way, turn it that way, like all the little micro
little
adjustments
things.
because I
Yeah,
was getting injured. I would so working with a personal trainer, doing the classes, right? So for anybody that's watching this, if you're able to invest in a personal trainer, I think that's one of the best investments that you could make. Uh, if not, then I would say the classes, like doing group classes, especially if you have a great coach in the front of the room,
yeah.
can be super motivating. And plus, I tend to see the same people pretty much every day at these classes.
And
Do
the
you do
beautiful thing
anything?
is, today you can have a trainer anywhere, right? It's like my personal trainer lives in Dubai. I don't actually
Really?
see him. Yeah.
How does that work?
I just do weekly check-ins on the app. He sets the thing, he tweaks it, he tweaks the nutrition, tells me that I need to send him videos of my last sets and things like that on everything. He analyzes it. He tells me what I'm doing right, doing wrong. It's exactly the same as him being in the room, really. It's not really that different. So
Interesting. I never thought about the personal trainers being somewhere else and sending videos that way. I wonder if that's why there's such an explosion of fitness videos
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. No, it's good. Personal training is good.
Do you do anything throughout the day to
No, I just sit here.
Mm.
No, yeah, do I do anything through the day? Yeah, look, my typical day is like get up, do some creative work, check the markets,
But
and then
physical wise,
yeah, and then I'll go to the, I'll either go, if we're going for a walk, we'll go for a walk, or I'll go and do a stair climber session or something, and then I go to the gym. I usually go to the gym a bit later on at the moment because my partner who I train with a lot of the time, he has a job, right? One of those things. So he finishes at like I don't know, 6 p.m. So I'm training at like 6 every night, which isn't ideal for me, but it's again, it's a trade-off between, I could go on my own, but I'm not going to get that little added benefit, I don't think.
It's something that I started to integrate throughout the day. So I'll just set a timer on my watch, and I'm not gonna bust out push-ups now, but like every half an
Right.
hour, to just the reminder to get up, do something,
Yeah.
and I'll typically do stretching and some sort of either push-ups, crunches, squats, and
Yeah.
let's start to do challenges. Like so, we're earlier this week, like 1,000 push-up challenge.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah,
I
it was
do.
my. Say again?
I was going to say I do walk every day. That's about it. Like I hit between 10 and 15,000 steps a day, but I've got a treadmill on my desk, right? So I can just raise this thing up and
Yeah, that's
walk.
right. I remember that from a long time ago. We were talking about treadmill desks,
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
was
yeah.
a few years back.
COVID, they blew up, right? It's like,
They did.
yeah, yeah. It's good though, really good, because I don't have to go out. I can still walk and do my stuff and check them trades and all that whilst I'm getting in the steps.
So to tie in the physical fitness part to the mindset and trading part, do you
Yeah.
find that the discipline that you have with physical fitness, do you find that starts to bleed into your trading, or if you start to slip in one area, that tends to be a setback in the other? Anything
No,
you can
absolutely. The reason I do, the reason I think that I'm good at, the reason I think I've had success in trading is because of the discipline that I have to do things that make me feel uncomfortable. And a big part of that is physical fitness, because my approach to physical fitness is doing the things that I don't really want to do. I very rarely want to go to the gym. I very rarely want to go for a run, but I do these things because as soon as I say, oh, I don't really want to do this, that's when I know I have to do it the most. And I've always done things like that. So I think when it comes to trading, you have to be very, very disciplined. You have to show up and you have to be consistent, and you have to deal with a lot of emotional challenges, such as, worry and doubt, and is this the end, and have I got unlucky all these years? And that never goes away. Well, it doesn't go away for me anyway. It just never goes away. I get the belief in my system a lot more as the years go on, but I never ever lose that fear of, is this it? Because no one can tell me the answer to that. And so the way to get around that, the way to beat it, is just to constantly be uncomfortable and push and push. Because when you're uncomfortable for a long time, your stress level gets so high, and then it stays there until that becomes the norm, and you kind of, it's like inertia. You adapt to that level of stress, and then it takes you, and then nothing can get you stressed. Nothing can get you stressed. So yeah, physical fitness.
Interesting. I thought that I was the only one that started to still have those thoughts, even though, like, here's a podcast and a live stream and all this other stuff.
No. If anyone, I think if anyone tells you that they're 100% comfortable with trading, I just don't believe them. Because I've been trading so long now, and as I say, yes, I'm very confident, I'm very consistent. I've got belief in my ability to make money in the markets, but I've never ever been complacent enough and naive enough to believe that I can just trade my system into the sunset and everything's going to be fine. I just don't ever believe. If I stopped doing reviews on my trading, I would be a nervous wreck. Like I would just think, oh, this could just go any minute. You know, I'd never feel like I've got 100% handle on my trading ever.
Oh yeah, no, and I've heard that in so many other areas of life too, right? Like someone that's a true master never considers himself to have mastered anything. If anything, like you just get to that point and you understand how vast it really is.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when they say the astronauts go into space and they have something called the overview effect. They look at the Earth and it's so small, and they have this kind of, it's like I don't know, it's like a moment in their life that changes their perception of everything, of reality. And I think with everything, you can't, if you think that you've mastered something, that's the day that you've really you're going backwards from that point on, as far as I'm concerned. Same with relationships, same with money, same with everything, same with business.
Yeah, that true words have never been spoken.
I just try to be honest, man.
So let's see. So when you have these routines and these disciplines for when you are doing your workouts, and then that's bleeding it into your trading, and you're getting, now one is helping to impact the other. Like how do you, like you've been doing this for so many years, I've been doing this for so many years. How would somebody get started with building that kind of discipline? Like, so let's say that somebody's watching this, they're on the couch, you know, they're the fat kid, they're the Jason from 18, or they're the scrawny Mike from 18. Or what's your advice to that person?
Yeah, just start with you and like recognize everything you're unhappy with. Look around you, look at your room, look at your environment. You know, is it clean? Because there's everything that you're not happy with in yourself will cause brain noise. And the whole time you've got all this brain noise going on, you won't be able to focus on anything else external. So you've got all these ideas and dreams that you want to be a trader, or you want to start a business, and you want to be someone. In actual reality, it's depressing you, because you know you've got so much noise to get through that you'll never get there. So then you just start thinking, I could never do that. I could never do that. But if you just start looking around you and start identifying the things that you're not happy with about yourself, and the things that are not, you know, complimenting you in any way or helping you grow in any way, start getting rid of them and start tidying up your act. You know, if you feel like you're too fat, just start working on your diet. You know, if you feel like you live in a mess, start tidying up. And you know, there's a big saying, make your bed, right? And doesn't literally mean get up and make your bed like the army. It means look after everything in your close proximity and be happy in your surroundings and your environment, and everything starts working out a little bit, and you start having this belief, oh well, you know, I can see a clearer road now. I can see the way a bit better to where I want to go. So it just starts with literally close proximity. Start clearing up the things around you. Start getting rid of people that are not serving you. Start, you know, tidying your environment a little bit. Clean up your nutrition, and start, you know, giving yourself permission to live a good life, your best life. You're here for like not long at all. You're not here to just be miserable and live a life looking up to everyone else on social media. You make the life that you want. Everyone can do that.
Man, I'm just taking a moment to digest that. That was very inspirational.
Yeah, man. Look, habits as well. So once you've recognized that you just set habits, routine. Have a routine. Everyone always says, like, my kid said to me the other day, like, we went out late. I rarely go to bed beyond 9:30. You know, I'm in bed at 9, 9:15, and I'm asleep, and I get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And it's a tight schedule. And look, I'm in a position where I don't have to do anything. So when you don't have to do anything, you have to actually be more disciplined. You have to have more of a routine, because if you don't, you could quickly spiral out of control. If you don't keep yourself, doing things and structuring your day in a way that serves you, you can really start spiraling out of control. And because there's no one telling you what to do, you have to be more disciplined when you're free. My son said to me, yeah, but I said, I have to get up as well, and you have to get up. And he said, yeah, but you don't have to get up. I've got to go to work. And I said, I do have to get up. I do have to get up because I have to maintain routine. And anyone start a routine. You literally just go in your calendar, go in your diary, just start blocking in times for you. No one else. Just put in all of everything you want to do. Because if you don't fill your calendar with things that you want to do that inspire you, someone else will fill your calendar with things they want you to do. And whether that's spending your money or be a shoulder to cry on or give you a lift somewhere or whatever it might be, your time will be taken up by someone else. So fill it with you first.
How many habits would you say is a good number to try to start working on? Right, so that person that's coming off the couch needs a lot of great habits. How many should they start with?
But they're only have to be small. Like, it's like the person who's, so think about the areas of life, right? So it's like health, wealth, business, relationships, wisdom, your intelligence, your spirituality, your social leadership, and then just create habits for each of them. So for your health, maybe just drink 2 liters, 3 liters of water a day. Set alarm, set a timer, or one of these things, right? These Pomodoro things, or a timer, and just every 15 minutes set an alarm to just down some water, drink some water, beep, beep, right? Drink, get the 2 liters in every day. Walk 10,000 steps. You can just set a routine. Yeah, right, exactly. Walk 10,000 steps a day, or 5,000 steps a day, or 3,000 steps a day, more than you were doing before. And that can be walk to the shop instead of drive the car, or walk to work if you can, or just walk around the block a couple of times and set an alarm to do that. Every time you have a coffee, don't have sugar, maybe cut down on a tiny little bit of milk, or a tiny bit of sugar, or half a sugar, and then quarter of a sugar, and then no sugar. And little habits like that, just over time, they will compound. So health, wealth, start saving some money. Right? How much can you save? 1%, 2% of your income, 3%, maybe $1. It doesn't matter. It's just the habit of doing it. Relationships, send a text message or give someone a call every, put that in your calendar to send a message to your loved one, or ring your sister, or, whatever it might be. Just these little habits that tell you what you need to do to keep consistent, to then increase and enhance all of those areas of life. And after a year, you'll be a completely different person.
It's very interesting in thinking of some of the things that like the spontaneity part, right? Like wanting that, but then having to schedule in some of those things to make sure that they happen. I think that if it's scheduled, then it's conscious, and if it's conscious, it has a much greater chance of actually happening.
Here's the thing with Here's the thing with spontaneity. Everyone always says to me, right? Oh, don't you want any spontaneity in your life? If you ask my family, I'm one of the most spontaneous people ever, and the reason is because I've got such a strict habit and routine. Because when you have strict habit and routine, and your calendar's filled with all the things that you need to do, because it's so efficient use of time, you then free up massive blocks of time where you can just do whatever you want. So it's not like I'm planning every minute of my life. It means that I'm planning the important things, which means that I'm efficiently focused on those things for the block of time that I focus on them for. And I'm not just, spending loads of time wasting my time. So then I have loads of time to just be spontaneous. That's why we went literally just up and went to the lakes, and we can do things like that. So you actually you have the ability to be more spontaneous when you are structured.
That's very interesting too. And I've I felt the same way. Being I'm fairly structured as well. Finances structured too. So when a deal comes along, let's take it as
You're
trip.
ready. You're ready. Yeah, yeah.
Makes life a bit easier that way.
There's a great saying. There's a great quote. One of my favorite quotes in the whole world, and it's when you value your time more than you value money, you end up with plenty of both. And I think it's a great quote, because what it means is when you actually figure out that how you spend your time and the time that you have is the most important thing, you then become more focused on structuring your time efficiently. And as a result, you end up finding more money, finding more opportunities, finding more everything. It's just how it works out. And if more people focused on valued their time a little bit more and prioritized their time a little bit better, they would find themselves in a lot better situation financially and everything.
So how do you structure your time?
How do you structure your time? Like I said, you just basically fill your calendar. How do I do it?
Yeah, I'm curious to hear.
How do I do it? So exactly
Jason.
exactly what I just said, really. It's 7 areas of life. I have habits formed in each one. I make sure that I block into my calendar certain areas to work on those, like anything from read a chapter of a book to go to the gym to spend time with a family member, or work on a business, even to increase my savings, readjust my portfolio for my passive investments, my trading time. All of that stuff's in my calendar so that I know that over time I'm going to do well in every area. It's not like I'm trying to do well in one particular area. What it is I've just got loads of habits that I do, and I know that I'll slowly get a bit better over the years at each of them. That's the way I like the long game, right? I'm not here to have these mad swings of like volatile emotional roller coaster. I just want to get a little bit better at everything every day. That's it.
Well, one of the things that you inspired me with, gosh, it's been we've known each other for so long, right? Like, so there's been many times of inspiration, but the thing that came to me just now is that giant calendar that you have, that you plan out the whole year, and I've seen you do this so many times now. It's just a really great way to start to think about things.
Every December, just get out a big planner, put in all of the holidays that you want to have. Blocking you first. This is the fundamental difference between what most people do and what people who enjoy their time do, and that is they say, right, I'm working here, and then I'll try and fit in a little holiday, or I'll try and fit in something here or something here, right, that I like doing. Instead, just put yourself in first, right? Put 10 holidays in, go away for 10 weekends of the year, or put some uncomfortable amount of you time into the calendar and just pencil it in, and go, right, now I've got to work around that, and I've got to make it work. And you'll find that if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur and you're worried about that concept, you'll find that just before you go away for these little holidays or these little breaks, you'll move mountains. You'll do unbelievable amount of productive work before you go away. Whereas before you just don't. You're just like, it's kind of like it's like the Parkinson's law, where you just kind of, I don't know, you have 10 hours to do a task, so you'll take 10 hours to do a task. But if you put yourself first and you say, right, I've only got this amount of time to do it, you'll do it in that time as well. So you put yourself first.
That's such a great reminder, right? And I just wrote a little note to myself to make sure that I'm doing that, because I've got that habit where I'm putting well, I've gotten better at putting myself first as far as physical health and things like that go. But as far as time away, that tends to come later on. So that's a really, really good one. And I have noticed too that when there is a vacation coming up, like next week is my birthday, and we're going away for a couple of days. So Now,
You're
I'm
working
getting
like
a
that.
bunch of stuff
Yeah.
done that a lot quicker by magic.
Exactly. But you already had the ability to do that, right? All the time. It's just
Sure.
now your standards, your priorities are shifted, like your motivation shifted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the big data for a little bit because you were telling me about how data has helped your physical fitness, right? Well, like you're tracking it
Yeah.
with this special band, and you're getting the
Yeah.
coaching, and it's also helping in trading. And I'd love to hear about all these different things. So let's start with the fitness data, and then we'll migrate over to the trading data. And I'd love to then hear more about the cyber trader.
Yeah. So data, where do you begin? I mean, with data, it just gives you certainty in what has a high probability of happening in the future. So
Okay.
in investing, what I want to look at, when everyone's saying, I'm worried about investing, I'm worried about putting it's risky and all the rest of it, or is there an economic downturn or a recession or a crash? I just want to look at the last 100 years of recessions, and I want to see patterns in those recessions that give me peace of mind of an average outcome. And when I've had an average outcome over 100 years, that keeps you pretty calm, and it allows you to make some poised decisions going forward in the short term. That's when everyone else is out on the streets running around worried about what's happening. I have certainty in probabilities, which I've got black and white data backing me up on, and I feel connected to the markets. I feel connected to what's going on. So therefore, nothing can really scare me or make me too fearful, and nothing can really get me too excited, because I just want to maintain the mean growth of the market. That's it. Same with trading. If I'm trading something, I want to know the historical performance. I want to know how long I'm likely to lose money for what's the longest drawdown? How much have I lost historically? What's the greatest loss period? I want to know if there's any slow periods. I want to know how this strategy performs under different economic conditions. And to do that, you can go and look historically and get the data and test the data, and it just gives you peace of mind. Because one thing you don't have is, as an investor and trader, which we spoke about earlier, is certainty over what's going to happen next, like tomorrow. No one knows what's going to happen tomorrow. And if you do, let me know, and I'll just transfer all of my money to your account, and you can go and trade it for me, right? But no one knows that. No one knows that, right? So all we want as traders is a peace of mind. So you get that from probability, and you get probability from historical data. So with weight tracking and fitness tracking, again, I just want to know what I burn, what average is, what my calories are that I burn on average, and I can then know on average what I can eat every day. And I know that I won't gain weight, because it's impossible. It's scientifically impossible to gain weight if I just stick within these metrics. That gives me certainty. I'm not fluctuating and go, oh, I better not eat that because I'll put on a stone of weight, or I'm not going to get fat because I know that I'm not going to get fat. And that gives you peace of mind, and it allows you to be, again, a little bit of structure allows you to be more flexible. It's like, it sounds counterintuitive, but it's not, because my tracking is so structured. I can now have enjoyable things in mediation, and I'm flexible with it, and I know that it won't affect me long term, because I work in averages. I don't work in like, oh, I've put on a kilo today or whatever, or I've put on a few pounds today, and I don't care about that stuff, because I'm working averages over time. So data to me is just essential for like knowing your numbers in anything. Even when I was 22, I knew how to become financially free, and I knew what day I would become financially free based on my current situation and what I was doing and what I was investing and my return yields and all the rest of it. So then with that data, I could then work on tweaking all the different components of that journey and see that come down, and I would reduce the day down. That's why I became so kind of obsessed with, reducing the time it took me. But it gives you certainty. There's no, in finances and wealth building, it's a lot of people are just like, it's finger in the air. It's like, when will I be financially free? What is financial freedom? And why, if I said I wanted to be a millionaire by the time in 20 years, and I get to 20 years and I've got $1 million, but it's now worth 300 grand because of inflation, what happened? Well, you want to know that. You want to know that stuff so that you can counter it and you don't end up in that position very resentful. And the same with weight, the same with trading, the same with investing. So yeah, to me, data's just key. I'm mad for it. Can't have enough of it.
And I feel the same way, and I'm tracking like every single trade in spreadsheets, and then I'm using not just the historical data from the market, but I'm looking at my own data to see, well, how's my performance changing in different market types, and then using that to adjust and improve as well. For example, this most recent market that we're in right now, trades have not moved quite as far as they were even in June. So by knowing something like that, I'm able to start taking gains a lot quicker because that's what the data shows.
Exactly. And it's also about like that, having that data allows you to not be so knee-jerk reaction. You don't want to change things too quickly, because what I see a lot of people doing is they'll see something change and they'll adapt straight away. Whereas in actual fact, you want to tweak just a little bit, right? Or just move a little bit in the other direction, because it's like the thermostat analogy. When people just like, they say, oh, I'm too cold, let's turn the heating on. And they turn it on, like they whack the thermostat up. And then they say, right, now I'm too hot, so turn it off. And they have this on-off language with heating, when in actual fact, you've got a thermostat there. And the idea of the thermostat is to tweak it until you're comfortable and leave it there. And then you never have to touch it again. And that's the same thing, right? If you do do too much at once, you don't know what you did to rectify the thing or make it worse, and then you're in a dangerous situation.
And that's such a beautiful analogy. Well, we're starting to run low on time, so and I want to be respectful of your time. We had an hour scheduled, so for all of you that are here, that are watching live, thank you. If you guys have questions, go ahead and type them into the chat. We'll be happy to answer them. In the meantime, we had spoken offline too about some big moves that you're making with Tier 1. There was a huge jump that you've made on your own channel on YouTube. Congrats about that. You're well over 100K. You're well on your way to 200K.
160,000 I think we're going to hit this weekend, so it's awesome. Really good.
God, good for you.
We've Tier 1's been making moves. We've recently had a bit of a shake up there, so we hadn't run an event for 2 years. Darren, who was one of the co-founders, has decided to pursue his passion for the church, and he's gone on to run his own church and everything, which is why he got into trading in the first place, which has been amazing to see him be able to do that. So that's incredible. And it's basically the reins have been handed over, and now it's like, let's breathe some life into this. Let's take it in lots of exciting directions, and that's what we're doing.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Really excited for it.
And so let's see. Well, no. So with the growth on YouTube, like closing in on that. What do you think was the big catalyst?
The big catalyst.
But there was some really all of your content is freaking amazing. But there's a handful of videos there, or one in particular that's really driven home some major growth. Can you tell us a little bit about that one and we could direct some people there.
Yeah, again, data, right? So I've been tweaking this thing for 7 or 8 years now, this YouTube thing. And 7 or 8 years gives you a lot of data, a lot of insight into what's working, what's not. And in our industry, regardless of what Mr. Beast is doing or any other industry, in our industry, people are there to learn, right? So there's little space for very short form content. There's little space for short snippets and things like that. What people want to do is sit and watch you for 2 hours and learn something, right? So I realized this, and I thought, one, I'm going to do a very long video, 2.5 hour training video, comprehensive, and two, I'm going to give away so much for free that it's uncomfortable, with the belief that the more trust that you build with people, the more they'll want to work with you. And that's what we did. So I went in with this armed with all the data of the last 8 years, and I said, I'm going to do this long video, 2.5 hours long, give away everything so they don't actually need me that much after this. And my goal was for them to never need me, right? So I had that in my head. Produced the video. It took about 4 or 5 months to really hit off, and then it just, retention rate just triggered the algorithm where people will watch. I mean, it's like 400,000 hours a month or something crazy. It's like, it's people are spending a long time with me watching that, right? So you imagine when you sit and listen to someone for 2.5 hours, you build a lot of trust with them, and you believe that they're the only person that can help you and solve your problem. I do anyway. I've employed so many coaches and mentors from YouTube, from watching them do something. Like, it could be something like camera gear, right? And I'll watch someone's masterclass on camera gear, and I'll go and employ them, and I'll go and work with them, and I'll say, right, can you come and do a training in our business? And I've done that so many times, and it's just the way it works. So it just paid off. It triggered the YouTube was kind to the video and started sharing it, and yeah, I think we're over 2 million views now on that. So it's crazy.
Incredible, and extremely well deserved. And you put out so much value. Like, it really is inspiring, and it's one of the things that I love about you. It's one of the things that a lot more people now love about you, and it's one of the reasons why I feel very blessed to have you as a friend.
Oh man, likewise. It's very kind. Thanks very much. It's always a pleasure to be on here, man.
All right, so I think that that's a good spot to call it a day.
Awesome. Yeah, really good. I could talk for hours, but I'm going to go and spend some time with my wife now.
Sounds wonderful. Me too. All right.
Awesome.
I'll see you next time, and
take care.
That's wonderful. Thanks so much again.
Thanks
Everybody go check out Jason. And yeah, Jason, one more thing before we do head out. Tell us where to go and find you. And of course, we'll have all that linked in the notes as well. But people have heard about the YouTube. So where do they find the YouTube? Where do they find your other social media as well? What are some of the best ways to?
Yeah. Honestly, you could go to jasongraystone.com and you'll find my official social media channels there, because there's a lot of fake ones. So be mindful of that. But I would just say, like, if you enjoy, if anything I said or my style of talking has kind of plucked your ears up, I do have a podcast called Always Free. And if you go and listen to that, it's called Always Free. Start at episode 1. And if you're still listening at episode 6, just send me a message and let me know what you think.
All right.
That's it.
Good. Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks again, Jason. And hopefully we'll get to talk again real soon.
Thanks very much. Cheers, Mike. Take care, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.